You ever land on a sales page and feel this magnetic pull to buy something, even when your logical brain is kind of screaming, hold on a second? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that exact feeling. We're going to deconstruct an online sales pitch for a product called the Hidden Goldmine. And look, this isn't about the product itself. This is about using it as a case study to understand the really powerful psychological tricks used to persuade us online.
So the pitch doesn't ease you in with a hello. Nope. It starts right here with this line. We're talking serious money here. Right away, that's an anchor. It sets the stakes incredibly high and frames the whole conversation around this huge, life-changing promise. It's totally designed to just cut through all the noise and grab your complete attention from the very first second.
All right, let's dive in. To really get how this works, we're going to follow a 5-step blueprint that you see all over the place. First up, we'll see how they paint the dream. Then, how they agitate the pain, make you feel it. Third, they bring in the magic bullet, the solution. Fourth, and this is a big one, we'll pick apart the vague mechanism behind it all. And finally, we'll look at the close, where they really push for that sale.
So step 1, painting the dream. This part is absolutely crucial. See, before you sell a product, you have to sell an outcome. You've got to create this irresistible fantasy in the person's mind, a fantasy that your product is the only key to unlocking.
And there it is, that fantasy just spelled out perfectly. This language is so not accidental, it's all about the senses. Sunny beach, laptop on our laps, money rolling in. It's tapping directly into that, almost universal dream of the laptop lifestyle, a life of freedom, of ease, of passive income. It's selling a feeling, not a feature list. Now this is such a classic move. The dream of being on a beach, that's abstract. But $9,999? That feels real. This number isn't just pulled out of thin air, it's another anchor. It attaches a very specific high value to that dream lifestyle, which makes the actual price of their product, whatever it is, seem tiny in comparison. It's all about making the impossible feel tangible.
Okay, let's shift gears and look at the second part of this. Because right after they show you the dream, the very next step is to yank you back to your frustrating reality. The pitch has to create a problem, or at least amplify one, so that its product can ride in as the hero, the only possible solution.
And they do it with these direct, almost empathetic questions. Does it feel like you don't get traffic that converts? I mean, for the person they're targeting, the answer is almost definitely yes. It's a super common frustration. By asking that, the pitch creates this instant bond. It's basically saying, hey, I get you. I understand your struggle. And that builds trust, making you much more open to what they're about to sell. And this next part is just brilliant. After identifying your pain, the pitch validates all your past failures. It tells you, hey, it's not your fault. The reason you haven't succeeded yet is because you were using junk systems, things that were just rehashed or a theory, or that just flat out didn't work. This totally neutralizes your skepticism and positions the Hidden Goldmine as something completely different, the only thing that's going to work. So the stage is set, right? You've got the dream lifestyle on one side and the pain of your current reality on the other. Now it's time to introduce the bridge between the two, and that's the product, which is presented not as a tool you have to work at, but as a perfect, almost effortless magic bullet. Just listen to the language they use here. It's not just a system, right? It's a revolutionary new marketplace. It's a hidden gem, a whole different beast. And here's the kicker, where earnings are automatic. That wording is crafted to make the solution sound exclusive, incredibly powerful, and, most importantly, easy. It promises you the results without all the hard work. Okay, so we've got this huge promise on the table. But how does it actually work? This brings us to the real core of the entire pitch, what I call the vague mechanism. This is where the persuasion gets really subtle and really powerful. It's all about creating the illusion of a working system without ever giving you any concrete details you can actually check. So, the whole thing is laid bare right here on this slide. Just look at that contrast. The promises, they're enormous, they sound super high-tech, 5 million buyers, recurring AI, $88,000 months. But when the text hints at what you're actually getting or selling, the examples are unbelievably simple. A text file, a Google Doc, a Notion template. This gigantic gap is where the magic trick happens. The how is kept vague on purpose, so your imagination, all fueled up by those big promises, just fills in the blanks for them. And that brings us to the final critical step, the close. All that emotional groundwork, the hope, the frustration, it's all been laid. The goal now is to turn that feeling into an immediate click. Right now, before your logical brain has time to catch up and start asking questions.
So the close usually kicks off with a classic pattern interrupt, a command designed to just snap you to attention. And then they do it again to really make sure they've got you, using some forceful repetition.
It's like a hammer, just drilling the message home. This whole sequence is designed to manufacture a sense of urgency, to make you feel like whatever comes next is the single most important thing on the entire page. And here it is, that final push, broken down into a simple 4-step funnel. First, they command attention. This is not a drill. Second, they state the offer. Nice and simple. Pay us the small entry fee. Third, they give you the immediate reward. You get instant access. And finally, the direct call to action, a question that demands an answer. Are you in? It's a straight, clean path designed to minimize any and all hesitation. But then, after all that urgency, all the promises of serious money, you find this, buried deep in the fine print, that the content is to be considered for entertainment purposes only. This might be the most powerful contrast of all. This incredibly intense, high-stakes sales pitch, completely contradicted by the little legal disclaimer that protects it. So, to wrap it all up, the framework is pretty clear, right? You sell the lifestyle dream, not the product itself. You create a problem or a common enemy that only you can solve. You position your thing as a unique, one-of-a-kind magic bullet. You make the promises huge and keep the mechanics super vague. And you use repetition and urgency to close the deal. This is a blueprint you're going to see over and over and over again online. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Look, the goal here isn't to make you cynical about everything, it's just to make you aware. Now that you've seen the blueprint, now that you can see the architecture behind the pitch, how is that going to change the way you look at the next revolutionary, groundbreaking offer that lands in your inbox?